We are back with Hall of Fame sprint car driver Keith Kauffman, who announced that this will be his final season of racing and only has a few races left. Now, you've raced for legendary car owners such as Bob Weichert, Al Hamilton, Roy Morrill. You helped get Dave Millsworth's team started. Besides good equipment, what drew you to those rides?
Well, good equipment, good car owners, you read about, the Hamiltons, the Weicherts, I remember that when I was little too, they always had good cars, so that's naturally where you want to go. But good equipment, good car owners, they love racing, they want to race, we want to race as much as we can, so that's why you go there.
Well, now you were successful with them, but was the chemistry there personality-wise? Sometimes you hear of, some conflict, yet, it all works.
Yeah, for those kind of guys and those kind of car owners, you got to win races. If you don't win races and do good, you're not going to be there very long. So, that's the main thing. And they want to win too. They want to win just as bad as we do, but sometimes it just works better. Some guys are capable of winning more races, and having better years. But I've had a lot of good years with all those guys.
Oh, yeah. Well, now in the last 3 seasons, you've raced for Gary Heckman. How did that all come about?
Well, it was kind of funny, the Heckmans, Michael ran their car. It was a family-owned deal. Their son raced a car. They've raced, some 305 stuff, raced all kinds of other stuff, up to sprint cars, and got into the 410 stuff one year. And I don't know, I parked beside him a couple times, kind of got to know him a little bit, and Michael was starting out, and they struggle a little bit. You start into this deal, you struggle, and they had good nights and they had bad nights, and I don't know what really happened, but then that winter, Gary Heckman, he called me up and he said, "Hey, would you be interested, in driving my car?" And I thought, well, heck yeah, we'll come down and talk about it, and that's what we ended up doing.
Now it's like I said, a relatively young team, but yet you've had a couple of wins with them.
Well, yeah, I kind of wanted to cut back on my racing a little bit, and I didn't want to race that much, and Saturday nights, 25, 30 races a year. Financially for him, that's the kind of budget he wanted to do. He was happy with one night a week. That suit his budget real good, so it's just what we did.
Now, Keith, you've been around this game for a long time now. Do you see any up-and-coming drivers who could have a Keith Kauffman type career? Well,
there's a lot of good drivers. There's a lot of good young guys. They're all younger than I am. But there's a kid from Port Royal here, a local kid, Dylan Sisney. He's done really good. Has some good equipment, and he's actually done real good too, with the limited amount of experience he has. But I look for him to win some races, and the next couple of years he could win a lot of races and maybe a track championship.
Well, like I said, you've been around this game for a long time. Have there been any rivalries, whether good or maybe some ill feelings there?
Oh yeah, there's been lots of those. That's what makes this thing happen. That keeps it interesting for the fans, and everybody. But oh yeah, it's kind of funny. You race hard, and you meet a lot of friends, and every once in a while you bump and bang wheels, and exchange a few words probably, and maybe some other things. Yeah. But a couple weeks down the road, you might, after the races, you might drink a beer together or something, and it's all going. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think everybody kind of enjoys a little bit of that.
In the 43 years of racing, have you seen any changes, good or bad, in sprint car racing?
There's been a lot of changes, especially in all those years, and the cars look kind of similar to people sitting in the grandstands. They kind of look like they did maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but they're so much different. The parts and pieces are lighter. The availability of that stuff is, you just dial it up. If you need parts or pieces, you just grab your cell phone, make a call, and they'll ship them out the next day. And this has been a bad year for sprint car people. They've had some bad wrecks. A couple of guys aren't around anymore, but all in all, the cars are probably a lot safer than what they were years ago. Even though that doesn't show, but the things like the seats and the head protection around the seats and the helmets and all that stuff. But it's, you run that risk of things happening in anything you do. But all in all, it's a lot safer than what it was You know.
Well, like I said, it's a lot safer, and you survived for all these years. Is your wife kind of happy to see you out of the seat?
Yeah, well, I don't know. She doesn't say much, you know. She's been a big supporter over the years, you know. But you know, I've been fortunate. I had a broken leg and a couple broken ribs, and that's the only broken bones I've ever had. So you know, actually, I've been pretty lucky.
Well, you're wrapping things up. This is an opportunity. Anything you'd like to say to your fans or those who have come to enjoy watching you race over the years?
Well, we got a couple more races left this year, so maybe I can you know, get that checkered flag before it ends.
Well, that would be really nice to see you win your last race ever. We wish you well, and we'd like to thank you for all the memories.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We will be back with more Pit Pass right after this.
It's the honk heard round the world. Goose Island Beer has migrated to W.R. Hickey Beer Distributor. That's right. The signature Chicago craft brews of Goose Island Beer are flying onto the shelves of W.R. Hickey. Best sellers like Goose Island's 312 Urban Wheat Ale, Honkers Ale, India Pale Ale, Nut Brown Ale, and seasonal favorites are available right now at W.R. Hickey. As always, have one of our beer runners bring your favorite Goose Island beer right to your car. Goose Island IPA, gold medal winner at the Great American Beer Festival.